So this is Mensa and me starting off a walk down the street. I haven't lunged him, and he didn't go out yesterday. So I figured I would just get on. I am in the Boucher bridle, so I'm a single rein in the Boucher snaffle, and I'm also bareback. So we will see how Mr. Man does. He seems a little alert, but beyond that, we seem to be walking very quietly. So now we're over here in the polywog area. So we usually come down here at night, but I wanted to come here during the day just because we don't usually have time to do this. So usually I'm working and teaching and stuff, but today I was able to take him out during the day. So upcoming is the animation building of Walt Disney, and over there is usually where we ride, and sometimes we usually do that at night. There's no lights over there, but I kind of get a kick out of riding him in the dark. There's just something kind of pleasant and serene about it. Over here we have the 134 freeway, so it gets progressively louder as we start walking down to this area. And all over here, all these houses have horses and stuff in the backyard and dogs and all kinds of fun stuff, and he usually has kind of this reaction where he's just like looking around and checking everything out. And yeah, there you go. So now we're headed underneath the 134 freeway. To my knowledge, he's never been in this tunnel before. So I figure we would just kind of wander down here and see how he felt about it. Still kind of looking around, but so far he seems to be okay. I'm just going to take it real easy. Oh, good boy. Oh, good boy. Have any contact right now on his mouth. Just kind of letting him pick his own pace. I find it's easier with him if he kind of chooses how fast he wants to walk, and I don't give him a whole lot of annoying micromanaging directions. It's an area of the park that he hasn't been to before. We're just kind of wandering around. He's looking at all the things, but he's a little hesitant, but I'm just kind of letting him take his own pace, kind of check everything out. I'm gonna see if I can put this phone on me. I don't know if you can still hear me, or if you can see. You might hear my heartbeat. So yeah. We just had a little moment of just kind of stopping. And again, because we're just hanging out, I want him to feel comfortable checking out new things and not feel any pressure. So he stopped for a minute, and I just let him kind of stand here and look at everything. And now he kind of turned around and looked at me like, am I going forward or what am I doing? And I just asked him to go forward, and now he's going forward really quietly. He's kind of putting his head down. He's kind of stretching down a little bit, trying to kind of look at everything and check all the things out. Looking very good, pony. Yeah. So if I were in a saddle and we had been here before, I probably would pick up trot, but because I know his anxiety kind of issues, I would rather just kind of keep this at a nice relaxed pace and let him kind of just absorb. But this was the horse that couldn't even, couldn't really leave the arena without getting really upset about stuff. And he has had a pretty shady history, not to the fault of the owner who currently has him, but from the previous owners before her. And it's been an uphill battle trying to get him to trust me, and specifically, and to trust the owner and trust the riders that are sitting on him. So, and I've just found with him that the kind of the more or less is better, less is more kind of thing, I know he does usually like it when I talk. He kind of seems to feel more relaxed when I'm having a conversation, whether it be with him or with you. Of course, you can't see anything. FYI, I have this phone in my shirt, so I'm sorry if it looks weird. So this is what he looks like when he's never been anywhere. He just kind of goes on point, but you can tell it's really beautiful. Everything he's looking at. It's a really nice area. Not the quietest place on the planet, but definitely very, very beautiful in its vistas. Those pretty perked ears, looking at all the things. So I'm just going to kind of wait. Oh, I just got a nice big sigh out of him. What a good boy. So I'm just going to let him kind of glance around. He's like, can I go home yet? Can we go forward? Good boy. He's like, all right, lady, I don't know where you're taking me, but I'm game. Looking around. Checking out the sticks. Go ahead and go forward, Bonnie. Good boy. Good boy. So we're just about coming to the end of the line here. So I will check back in when we get to the point of return, because this trail has a tendency to die out after a while. Oh, what are we looking at? You want to eat? You're not allowed to eat, pony. I want to go forward. I want to eat. There you go. Good boy. So just a little bit more anxiety on the way home. I didn't take any video of it only because I wanted to have both hands on the rein. And he basically, I mean, as far as anxiety goes, I mean, it's so not a big deal. He just basically picked up a bigger pace. As you can see, he's walking home with more authority, but this is exactly what was happening before we left the tunnel, or before we got to the tunnel. So it's just a higher pace of walking. So he basically bumped up his stride from about, 3 miles an hour to 5 miles an hour. But he's like, his head is up and he's looking, but it's more curiosity and excitement of going home. He has not acted stressed out. It's not about that. It's more just about that he's just picked up his pace. As you can tell by the sound of my voice, he's got a very animated walk. So this is not nerves making my voice sound like this. It's the fact that he's got a nice big walk going on. But no, he's been wonderful. I mean, absolutely perfect. He kind of picked up a little bit of trot here and there, and I just very quietly brought him back, and he was like, but I know I'm on my way home and I'm excited about the home thing. So, but it was not, there was no stress. It was just excitement going home. So he's already starting to kind of mellow out a bit because we're getting back to an area he's very familiar with. So already the pace has slowed down. But he's been wonderful. He responded to all the new stimuli perfectly. He was alert, he was focused, but he was not scared. And if he was very good about keeping it under wraps. So I'd say pretty successful ride for the Mr. Mensa man. And right, I'm going to got our normal walk going home in the neighborhood. So he's slowed down to something a little bit more reasonable, so I don't sound like I'm being on a truck with no shocks. But my reins have loosened because he knows this area really well. He's very, very comfortable in this neighborhood. I like taking as many of the different streets home as possible because why not? So I think I'm going to take him over to Riverside Drive where there's a little bit more traffic, and then I'll check in a minute. Riverside Drive, I don't know if you can see with the video, but there's some basketball players up there. So for the longest time, he used to drag me over here when I would hand walk him through these neighborhoods. He always liked to check out the basketball players. We think he was a basketball player in another life. All the basketball players, and I don't know why. Yeah, we think he was a basketball player in another life because he always likes to come and check them out. He actually hasn't dragged me over here in quite a while, so I think he got his fill of trying to figure out what the heck those people were doing. But now we're walking on Riverside Drive, and it's about 7 o'clock, so it's not as busy as it normally is. I've got some bikers behind me. There goes the bikers. So doesn't really care really about all of this drama. Very, very easygoing, very familiar with all of this stuff. Very last stretch home. Up there go all my students. We are on the buckle and we are done for the day. That was an hour out. Over and out. God, he's so bouncy.